Hey guys, and welcome back to Regrexit. Brexit Britain. A country who decided it needed a hobby. Britain decided to take up beekeeping. Britain went and spent thousands and thousands of pounds on beekeeping equipment. When Britain went to go and actually deal with the bees itself, unfortunately Britain forgot to buy one of those special suits, and Britain was stung over 1,000 times. Sounds like Brexit, isn't it? One big sting. And also, guys, welcome back to By Any Means Necessary. Thank you so much for all your messages you sent me. A special thanks to everyone who signed up to my channel. I feel so blessed with so much people that have signed up. So thank you so much for that. I'll go through all the messages. I'll answer as many as I can, but I will like all the messages for definite. So, you know, I was saying earlier. When I done a video earlier about the migrant crossings. Yeah, that this will not deter people, right? And funnily enough, yeah, there was actually more people who actually turned up last night, and I think another two or three boatloads have turned up today again. So as I said, yeah, this is not, that happening, right? It is not going to be a deterrent because these people are fleeing from, like, from war torn countries that we have taken pride in smashing the fuck up, right? We have bombed some of these countries so fucking much, right, that we've bombed them back to the Stone Ages. And how would you like to live, right, in just a pile of fucking rubble, right? If Britain, right, and the West, right, don't want this type of migrant crisis. You know what they need to do? They need to go back and rebuild these countries, yeah, what they've destroyed. Go back and rebuild them. Right? That will help stopping the flow of migrants because who wants to live in that type of devastation? Who wants to? People are fleeing Afghanistan because Afghanistan hasn't got anything. Right? Internationally they're holding back all monies that's owed to Afghanistan because they don't want to give it to the Taliban. Right, but then they expect the Taliban to be able to feed the people in the country. You can't feed the people if you haven't got the money to to buy they need to buy, so they need to buy corn, right, so they can plant up, so they can start planting up some wheat and all them things there, right. They haven't got the money to do it. They need the money to do it with these things, right? So we need to get ourselves back over to all these places, yeah, that we have destroyed and build them back up, right? So people can say, well, you know what, there's opportunities. There are opportunities in our own countries. Do you know what I mean? But a lot of times, yeah, we've helped put in regimes in some of these places, yeah, that are that do not treat their people well. Right. So this is the reason why people are just fleeing from all of these places. And if you notice, yeah, it's most of the places that we've touched. Right. And, a lot of people are coming from maybe from the third world, from places like Sudan and all these type of places. Sudan's been in war for how long? How long has this Sudan been at war? Who the hell would want to live in that situation? No wonder people are jumping in dinghies and trying to get as far away from them places as they can, right? And I've been listening to the radio on this all day, and so much people, right? When as soon as they say, as soon as you hear the first thing that come out of their mouth is something about France and how it's a stable country, and you think to yourself, oh God, give me a fucking break, seriously, right? It's just like Britain. There's people over here, yeah, who just like, what, we don't want to do our bit, right? We are fine sending, bombs and bullets to these people. We're fine flattening their houses, right, from 2 miles in the sky. We're fine doing that, right? But you know something? We're not fine, right, sheltering them. No. That's where, that right there, right, is where we're not fine. But we're fine doing all the rest, right? When it comes down to support our boys and all this, support our boys. We're sending them over. We're sending them into war. Support our boys, right? We're sending them to go and destroy people's countries, for what? Right? To remove Saddam Hussein. So we go and kill 750,000 people to remove Saddam Hussein. and now Iraq is a complete basket case, right? You know, we took out we took out we took out Colonel Gaddafi. We took him out, right? And now, right, Libya, right, is a complete basket case, right? You know that what happened in Syria. You know that that we at the West had their hand all over that. They had their hand all over that. Right? And then these people are wondering why the hell, right, people want to get the fuck out of Syria. Who the hell would want to live in Syria? What the hell would someone want to live there for? Why would you want to live in one of these war-torn countries? The people of this country, yeah, they don't understand, right? Because you know what? Because we have been brought up in like a country where something, yeah, we have so many different layers of law and order in this country, right? That coups and those type of things are virtually impossible. Right. Well, actually, we would have said that about America. We would have said that about America just like, before the 6th of January, we would have said the same thing about America, right? But, the truth is, right, in Britain, we are so far away from things like coups, that those type of things, because it's the way how the country is structured, right? There are too many, there's too many different layers of law enforcement, right? Remember, yeah, on our streets, right, we never ever have like soldiers on our streets, right? Apart from when Boris Johnson fucks up something like the Olympics, right? Or right, these guys like they put soldiers on the street for I don't know, they put soldiers on the street one time because of the terrorist threats, and you think to yourself, seriously, because that was just ridiculous. I mean, that was just playing for the crowd. Do you know what I mean? Because our police over here don't need no help, right, in dealing with terrorists. They can deal with terrorists well enough. Our police over here. Right, so all of that, it was just a play thing. Do you know what I mean? Just playing to the crowd. Do you know what I mean? Just like and it was just like I just looked at it and thought to myself, this is just ridiculous. It's completely ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? As I said, because we've got so many different layers, right, of law and order in this country. So we've always lived, right, knowing something, yeah. It's not going to be like, yeah, the people from the next town is going to come in and murder, right, all the people from this town. Do you know what I mean? That's them type of things is never going to happen over here. Do you know what I mean? Right? As I said, I could have said the same thing about America before the 6th of January, but boy, you see what happened there. But then, so today, Priti Patel gave a speech in the House of Parliament, yeah, and she just never lets you, Priti Patel, she just never lets you down. She just stays with the hardline focus. Do you know what I mean? 27 dead people, right? Women and children included, right? And Priti Patel she's just still an obnoxious bitch, right? Who just can't, she has no compassion at all, just no compassion at all. Do you know what I mean? I could see Priti Patel being one of them women who just like, she would have a baby, yeah, and the next in the afternoon she'll just take the baby and put the baby in the babysitter, right? The same day she's had the baby, and then she's back behind her desk, right? Because seriously, this woman has absolutely no heart. She has no. But there's probably where her heart's supposed to be. There's probably a massive stone. Right, just a big, massive stone, just a regular stone, what you'd find on the street. Right, I mean, not even a piece of moon rock, just a piece of regular stone. Right, because the woman has absolutely no compassion at all. Because all she's talking about, oh yeah, is pushbacks. What does pushback sound to you like? Because to me, pushback sounds like, we're going to push the motherfuckers back to France. Right. And then what you're going to do after that? After you've pushed them back to France, what are you going to do after that? Right? Or I've asked France if we can send some police officers over, and think to yourself, seriously? So you think the French are going to say to you, oh yeah, because that's just what we need. We need British police officers to come over and help us police our. France don't need no help with this. With this, right? You know, the only reason why the French are helping, right, is because you know what is the safety factor. It's the only reason why the French are helping anything. Do you know what I mean? You know, it was just better when the French Navy was just shadowing the boats. You know, right up to the British. You know, up to the British coast. That was the best thing. Do you know what I mean? If they just shadowed, you know, right up to the British part of the channel, right, to make sure they don't get in trouble and you know, and the dinghy don't capsize on them. But that's the, you know, because you know, I don't understand how people don't understand the whole migrant situation. Do you know what I mean? In the same way, yeah, they don't understand. They never understood about the EU. Right. This is why they were so stupid to vote for Brexit. Let me tell you this, right? If you're one of those people, right, who says, well, how comes I didn't get a chance to vote for Michel Barnier? You are a fucking arse. Right there, because you know nothing at all about the EU. Nothing. Nothing. If you think like that, nothing. Because you know something, yeah? There's no one in France, right, who's saying, you know what? How comes I didn't get a chance to vote for Nigel Farage? Because they understand the EU. They understand how it works. Right? But if you don't understand the simple parts of the EU, right, then you know you know nothing. You know. So as I said, yeah. So Priti Patel, right? She's just you know talking about sending British police officers, you know, pushing migrant boats back, but nothing about you know, we're going to have to do something, you know, to deal with the actual crisis itself, because you know this is just as you know there are millions of people around the world who are displaced. There are millions, right? So the world is going to have to come together, right? And Britain is going to have to do its part. Right? That's as simple as it is. We're going to have to do our part, and if they're just keeping people like Priti Patel in power, right? Then you know what? This. You know, in 2 years' time, we're going to be talking about this same situation, right? In the same way. Do you know what I mean? And you've got Boris Johnson and Macron speaking on the phone. Do you know what I mean? You think to yourself, seriously? Do you know what I mean? It has to take 27 people to die before you guys can actually get together and start speaking about this shit. Do you know what I mean? You know, so we're not going anywhere, because you know next week, right, all of this talk is going to be forgotten, right? And you see, for Boris Johnson, all of this is a great distraction for all of this for Boris Johnson, because you know Boris Johnson he's into taking people's minds away from all the fuck ups, right, of what he's actually doing. Do you know what I mean? I mean, yesterday was the biggest dead cat, right? When they was talking about, we're going to increase, you know, we're going to if you kill a police officer, right, then you know it's an automatic life sentence. It's yourself, all right. So it wasn't before then. So all right. So murder, right? Murder is not on automatic, like, because I was always under the impression, right, that murder was always like a instant, right, life sentence, right, just depending on how many years the judge decides to give you for the conviction of murder, right. But I think they're trying to tinker around, right, with the manslaughter, and you think, well, that shit's listen, all of it is just for show. Because the minute it goes in front of the Supreme Court is going to say, well, we've already got a structure for manslaughter. Right? You can't be right, because you can get a life sentence for manslaughter anyway. Do you know what I mean? It's not as if you can't. Do you know what I mean? You know, you can get a life sentence for it anyway. Do you know what I mean? You know, and it just depends on how long the judge gives you a recommendation for. Do you know what I mean? So all of that yesterday was just like, you know, the one of the biggest dead cats. Do you know what I mean? You know, the young lady who's been fighting for 2 years. Lucy Harper, I think her name is. I think that's what her name is, right? But so it's called Harper's Law or something like that. But it's it's you think just so it's just a load of nonsense. Do you know what I mean? Because you already get a life sentence for murdering a police officer, right? And right, you'd more than likely get a recommendation of minimum of 30 years anyway. Do you know what I mean? So I don't understand, what these people are on, right? Because that's how the law works anyway. Do you know what I mean? So and but they're talking about tinkering around. As I said, they're talking about tinkering around with like the manslaughter. Do you know what I mean? Well, you can't really, it's not gonna pass. Not with how the judges are. It's not gonna pass. Do you know what I mean? So, and I don't know if you saw yesterday's question, Prime Minister's question times. Yeah, but really not much to talk about apart from Boris Johnson got the floor. He got himself wiped all over the floor again by Keir Starmer and Ian Blackford. Do you know what I mean? Ian Blackford's always just smashes into Boris Johnson all the time. But Keir Starmer wasn't too bad because Keir Starmer was just talking about the social care, how Boris Johnson's new, because remember he said he had the oven-ready deal, yeah, for social care. But all of this, right, is something that it was all thought of overnight, a few months back, right, and he made sure that he got his side to all vote it through, right. So I don't think anybody else, right, voted for the social care bill apart from Tories. So it's a whole Tory thing. Do you know what I mean? So as the Tories are, right, well, they always look out for themselves because some working class people believe in their stupid minds, yeah, that the Tories are out there for them, right? But let me tell you, that is stupid, right? Just like the Brexit they got you to vote for, stupid, right? So if you think the Tories are out there for you, right, then remember, right, if you say like you end up say just before you're ready to pop your clogs, right, say you got 100 grand, right, so that's what you've got, 100 grand, right? 86 of that, right, has got to go to, right, so it's not even like you can leave that, you can't leave, well, apart from if your children are good enough to look after your ass, right, then they can have the whole 100 grand in it, right? Other than that, right, no. But remember, if you've got £1 million now, right, you just have to pay 86 grand, yeah, and just keep and you retain all the rest, yeah, to leave for your family. Right? And so many, right, poor and working class people say, oh well, I'll sell my house, right, to look, for my care, for my care. Now, if my kids don't get anything, they don't get anything. And you think, how is it, yeah, that working class and poor people think like that, yeah, but rich people are just like, right, I want to make sure that in 500 years' time my family is still rich. You think any of these guys, right, would ever say, you know what? No, 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 no. I just want to, if when it comes to the end of my life, yeah, I'm just going to give all, I'm not going to give my kids anything. No, man, these guys, they always they look after their family. That's how they are. Do you know what I mean? Because they know what they know to themselves. You know what? In 5, 6, 700 years time, right, my family is still going to be there, right? So they're going to need money. So if I could make enough for them, right, for the next 6, 700 years, then that's how they live. Then that's how they live. But your working class people is just like, the mindset of the working class and the poor is just completely, I can never understand it. I can never understand their mindset because, it's the whole doff cap scenario. Do you know what I mean? I must, I've got to vote for these people because they're my betters. Do you know what I mean? Right? I don't care about people, getting like, earning £30 million on a PPE contract, right? Because you know what? There's some migrants over there in a dinghy, right? And they're more of a threat to me, right? Those refugees are more of a threat. Right, I just think to yourself, you know what? Yeah, just get yourself in fucking order, right? These people, right, are taking these PPE contracts, right? What these people have taken, right? And and they're saying to you, oh no, just look over there, look at those migrants, look at them, look at those people, Don't look at me getting £35 million on a PPE contract. Right? Don't look at that. Right? Look at those migrants. Right? Look at them. Right? Because what they want to do, they want to come over here and work. Do you want to do any of the jobs that the migrants will come over, are prepared to come over here and do? No, this is the thing. You know what I mean? All these, so many jobs here are going, are waiting, right, for people to come and join, but no one's coming and joining. Anyway, you know. So we've got some Brexit news anyway, right? So look, you know, we've got coming up 17-mile queues at Dover. Coming soon, right? Because there's a new biometric system here that's going to be set up, right? So once that kicks in, that's it, right? Dover, right, is going to be as we say, right, the massive Farage garage. That's what Dover's going to be, right? So look forward to that, right? And the obnoxious Tim Martin is back, right, crying about Brexit again. Crying his eyes out, right? After this man toured all his pubs, right? Even had like bear mats made up, right, with all his Brexit nonsense, right? Used to go around all his pubs, harassing the staff, harassing the customers to talk about Brexit nonsense, right? And now his ass is crying because he can't get staff, motherfucker can't get beer. Well, it's his own stupid fault, right, for looking like a fucking scarecrow. It's his own fault, right? And it serves him the fuck right. Anything with Tim Martin, I mean, you should say, you know what, that serves you right, Tim, because you're stupid, mate. Right? Simple as that. And the French, fishermen have promised that tomorrow is doomsday, right? They said that, you know, tomorrow's doomsday, right? They're going to start blocking up stuff, right? Whether it's the ports or whether it might even be the Channel Tunnel. But the French are starting their day of action from tomorrow, right? And apparently, right, the newspapers are saying, you know what, this is going to be a motherfucking horror show. Right, so it's all up in the air from now. So we're going to have to wait and see to see what happens tomorrow. Anyway, guys, this is By Any Means Necessary. I am the MC John Ribbs. It was really nice to speak to you guys. Comments below.